Your heart has been beating since before you ever took your first breath. And tonight, as you sit here, it will beat about 100,000 times without asking for attention. Yet after 50, this quiet worker begins to change. The walls grow stiffer, the signals slow, the margins for error shrink. Most people think aging happens in the mirror, but the real story of aging is written inside the chest, in a muscle no larger than your fist, carrying the memory of every choice you have ever made. If we listen carefully, science and wisdom tell us the same thing. After 50, your heart does not ask for perfection. It asks for intention. The first thing your heart needs is movement that feels respectful, not heroic. Biologically, every gentle contraction of your muscles sends a message back to the heart. Stay flexible, stay responsive, stay alive. With age, blood vessels lose some elasticity, and the heart must work harder to push blood forward. Walking, light cycling, slow swimming, even standing more often, quietly train the heart to pump with less strain. This is not about burning calories. It is about reminding the cardiovascular system that it still belongs to motion. When you move with care, you are teaching your heart to age with grace instead of resistance. After the age of 50, the relationship between the body and movement quietly changes, and the heart feels this shift before the mind does. Many people believe exercise must be intense to be useful, but the aging heart responds better to consistency than to force. Inside the chest, the heart is a muscle that depends on cooperation with the rest of the body. Every time you move your legs, arms, or even your posture, the muscles squeeze nearby blood vessels and help return blood back to the heart. This reduces the effort the heart must use to circulate oxygen. With age, arteries naturally become less elastic, and the heart has to push harder against that stiffness. Gentle movement works like oil on a hinge, keeping vessels responsive and preventing pressure from building silently over years. Walking is one of the most powerful medicines for the senior heart because it mimics the natural rhythm the body was designed for. As the feet strike the ground, the nervous system adjusts heart rate in smooth waves instead of sharp spikes. This protects the heart from sudden stress. Light cycling, stretching, gardening, or slow swimming all train the cardiovascular system without shocking it. Scientifically, these activities improve endothelial function, which means the inner lining of the blood vessels becomes healthier and better at regulating blood flow. When that lining works properly, the heart does not have to struggle to deliver oxygen to the brain and organs. Another important part of respectful movement is frequency. The heart adapts not to rare heroic workouts, but to repeated gentle signals. When movement happens every day, even for short periods, the heart learns efficiency. Stroke volume increases slightly, meaning each beat pushes more blood with less effort. Over time, resting heart rate can improve, and circulation becomes smoother. This is why standing up often, taking small walks after meals, or moving during daily tasks matters just as much as scheduled exercise. The heart reads these moments as instructions for long-term behavior. Movement also talks to metabolism. After 50, insulin sensitivity often drops and fat handling becomes slower. Gentle activity encourages muscles to use sugar and fat more effectively, reducing the load in the bloodstream that would otherwise damage arteries. Less sugar and fat floating in blood means less inflammation pressing against vessel walls. From a biological view, motion becomes a cleaning process, helping the heart move blood that is calmer, thinner, and easier to transport. There is also a psychological side that science quietly supports. When seniors move with comfort instead of competition, stress hormones decline. Cortisol and adrenaline stay lower, allowing heart rhythm to remain stable. Breathing becomes deeper, oxygen exchange improves, and the heart receives better feedback from the nervous system. This creates a loop where calm movement produces calm circulation, and calm circulation supports further movement. The heart thrives not on punishment, but on partnership with the body, where each step, stretch, and gentle effort keeps its language alive and responsive. After 50, food stops being just fuel and starts becoming instruction. Every bite sends chemical messages into the bloodstream that shape how the heart works hour by hour. The aging body processes nutrients more slowly, and what once passed through easily can begin to linger in the arteries. Fats, sugars, and salts are no longer harmless visitors. They become signals that influence inflammation, pressure, and rhythm. When meals are built around whole, natural ingredients, the blood becomes less crowded with damaging particles, and the heart moves it with greater ease. In this stage of life, eating is not about filling the stomach, but about protecting the delicate systems that keep circulation smooth and reliable. Inside the arteries, the most important story is happening at the microscopic level. After 50, the lining of blood vessels becomes more sensitive to damage from excess sugar and unhealthy fats. These substances trigger oxidative stress, a process where unstable molecules irritate vessel walls and invite plaque to form. When plaque builds, space for blood narrows, forcing the heart to pump harder to reach the same destination. Foods rich in plants, natural fibers, healthy oils, and lean proteins support that inner lining instead of attacking it. Fiber slows sugar absorption, healthy fats stabilize cholesterol behavior, and minerals help control pressure inside the vessels, allowing blood to move with less resistance. Nourishment also influences the thickness and behavior of the blood itself. When diets are heavy in processed food, the bloodstream becomes denser and more inflammatory. The heart then must work against a heavier current, like pushing water through a narrow pipe. But when meals include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and balanced proteins, the blood becomes easier to circulate. Scientifically, this reduces triglycerides and improves the ratio of beneficial to harmful cholesterol, protecting the heart muscle from unnecessary strain. What you eat quietly determines how difficult each heartbeat becomes. After 50, metabolism changes in ways that make mindful eating even more important. Muscles use sugar less efficiently, and excess glucose stays in circulation longer. This can slowly damage small vessels and interfere with oxygen delivery. Gentle, balanced meals help stabilize blood sugar, preventing sudden spikes that disturb heart rhythm and vessel integrity. Eating slowly and choosing natural foods allow the heart to work with steady chemistry instead of unpredictable surges. There is also an emotional intelligence to nourishment. When people eat from habit, stress, or distraction, the nervous system stays tense, and digestion becomes rushed. A tense digestive system sends signals that affect circulation and pressure. But when food is chosen with awareness and eaten calmly, the body shifts into a restorative mode. Blood flow improves to vital organs, and the heart receives consistent, reliable feedback from the nervous system. Feeding the body with intention becomes an act of care where biology and respect meet, and the heart continues its quiet labor with less resistance and more harmony. After 50, rest becomes less automatic and more biological responsibility. Many seniors lie in bed for hours, yet the heart does not always receive the kind of recovery it truly needs. Sleep is not simply the absence of activity. It is an active repair process where pressure drops, hormones rebalance, and the cardiovascular system recalibrates itself. During proper rest, the heart slows slightly, blood vessels relax, and microscopic injuries created by daily stress begin to heal. Without this nightly reset, the heart carries yesterday's tension into tomorrow's circulation. As the body ages, the architecture of sleep changes. Deep stages become shorter, and awakenings become more frequent. This means the heart may spend less time in its most protective rhythm. When deep rest is missing, stress hormones such as cortisol remain elevated longer than they should. These hormones tighten blood vessels and keep heart rate higher even at night. Over months and years, this silent pressure increases the risk of hypertension and rhythm disturbances. Quality rest allows the nervous system to shift from alert mode into maintenance mode, giving the heart space to restore itself. Rest also regulates the way the heart communicates with the brain. The autonomic nervous system uses sleep to fine-tune balance between acceleration and relaxation. If sleep is poor, that balance tilts toward constant alertness. The heart then receives mixed signals, sometimes beating faster than necessary, sometimes losing rhythmic stability. With consistent, protected sleep, the signals become smoother. Heart rate variability improves, meaning the heart can adapt better to daily demands instead of reacting with strain. Another layer of recovery happens in the blood vessels themselves. During rest, nitric oxide production increases, helping vessels relax and widen. This improves circulation and lowers nighttime blood pressure. When seniors do not rest deeply, Vessels remain partially contracted, forcing the heart to push against resistance even while lying down. Over time, this prevents full cardiovascular recovery. True rest is like lowering the workload of a machine so its parts do not wear out prematurely. Rest also interacts with metabolism. Poor sleep alters how the body handles sugar and fat, increasing inflammation and thickening the blood. This makes circulation harder for the heart the next day. With proper rest, the body clears metabolic waste more effectively and balances appetite hormones, indirectly protecting the heart from unnecessary chemical stress. The heart benefits when the bloodstream it pumps is clean, calm, and predictable. Emotionally, rest teaches the heart safety. When the mind never truly switches off, the heart stays in a guarded state. But when a senior creates quiet routines, reduces evening stimulation, and allows the body to settle, breathing slows and the heart listens to a softer rhythm. In that softness, biology does its most intelligent work. The heart does not grow stronger only through action. It also grows resilient through stillness, where repair, regulation, and renewal happen naturally. After 50, the heart communicates in quieter language, and awareness becomes more valuable than reaction. Many serious cardiac problems do not begin with dramatic pain, but with small, almost polite signals the body sends long before crisis arrives. Slight fatigue, mild shortness of breath, unusual rhythms, changes in stamina, or subtle pressure in the chest are often ignored because they do not seem urgent. But biologically, these are early messages from a system trying to adjust before damage becomes permanent. When seniors cultivate attention to these whispers, they give the heart a chance to correct itself instead of being forced into emergency. The aging heart adapts differently than a younger one. Blood vessels lose flexibility, and electrical pathways that guide rhythm become more sensitive to disruption. This means changes happen gradually, not suddenly. Awareness allows a person to notice patterns instead of isolated moments. For example, climbing stairs feeling harder than last month, recovering more slowly after walks, or feeling irregular beats during rest are not random events. They are data. The heart is providing feedback about pressure, oxygen delivery, and muscle efficiency. When that feedback is noticed early, lifestyle adjustments or medical evaluation can preserve function before tissue is stressed beyond repair. Monitoring also influences behavior in subtle ways. When seniors pay attention to how food, sleep, movement, and emotions affect their pulse and energy, they begin to understand personal triggers. One person may notice heavy meals cause fatigue. Another may feel tension during stress. Another may experience dizziness after poor sleep. This is not fear-based observation, but curious partnership with the body. Science supports this approach because early behavioral change can reverse risk trends such as rising blood pressure, unstable glucose levels, or growing inflammation before medication becomes necessary. Awareness also strengthens the connection between the heart and the nervous system. When people consciously slow down, feel their breathing, and sense their heartbeat, the brain sends clearer regulatory signals. This improves coordination between rhythm and circulation. The heart becomes less reactive and more adaptive. Simple acts like pausing during activity, noticing breath, or checking recovery time after exertion train the system to self-regulate rather than overload. There's also a protective psychological effect. When seniors ignore the body, anxiety often grows unconsciously and the heart stays tense without explanation. But when awareness becomes habit, uncertainty turns into understanding. Knowing what is normal for your own body reduces fear-driven stress, which itself can strain the heart. Attention replaces panic with informed calm. After 50, prevention is not a single action, but a relationship with the body. Awareness means listening before damage speaks loudly. It is choosing curiosity over neglect, response over denial, and partnership over surprise. The heart continues its work more safely when someone is quietly watching, learning, and caring before urgency ever appears.